بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The ayah that I wanted to share with you, the ayah is actually one that expects something very, very high. It expects one of the highest expectations in the entire Quran. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ اشْتَرَى مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَمْوَالَهُمْ بِأَنَّ لَهُمُ الْجَنَّةِ. No doubt about it, Allah has already purchased from the believers. In fact, Allah is the one who's purchased from the believers their monies and their own lives, their own selves, in exchange for Jannah. So the ayah begins with a transaction, a business transaction, if you will. So now, for some people who are at the highest level, you know what that ayah means? That means they're going to go into the battlefield. The Sahabi is going to go into the battlefield. He's going to spend all of his money and he's going to go into the battlefield and die on the battlefield. يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ فَيَقْتُلُونَ وَيُقْتَلُونَ. Immediately, he just goes in and that's it. That's the highest level of that purchase. But let me ask you something. Is every single Muslim going to go into a battlefield? No. But has every single Muslim sold himself and his money in exchange for Jannah? Yes. It's true. What is the ayah teaching us? That the highest expectation of this purchase, the ultimate sale, is when the Sahabi is in the battlefield. But are there lesser purchases than that too? Yes. Because not everybody's going to be in the battlefield. There's going to be a mother who will never see a battlefield, but has Allah purchased her life and her wealth and her nafs in exchange for Jannah too? Yes. He has. Is there a scholar? Has Allah purchased his life and his wealth and his life in exchange for Jannah? Yes. So what does it mean for them? And what does it mean for someone who just became Muslim? And what does it mean for someone who's been trying to do Islamic work? What does it mean for a mother who's trying to raise a family? This ayah means different, this expression means different things to different people. And you have to understand what it means to you. You know, human beings, by nature, we love immediate transactions, what the Quran calls tijaratan hadira. The only time we like to delay a transaction is when we say, I want the product now. I want the big screen TV now, but I'll pay you over 6 months. In other words, we like to pay over time, but receive when? Immediately. Otherwise, if we pay now, when do you expect? You expect now too, right? So human beings like to pay late, but receive immediately. That's our nature. Everybody clear about that? In this ayah, Allah says, you give me money, you give me your life, and I will give you, what is Allah giving you? He's giving you Jannah. We like to receive immediately or later? We like to receive immediately. Is Jannah coming immediately or later? Jannah is coming later. And when do you have to make the payments to Allah? Now. And you have to make them one time, or you have to keep making them? You have to keep making those payments with your time, with the way you live, with the way you dress, with the way you talk, with the things you want to do but you can't do because they're haram, with the money that you can't earn because it's not the permissible way of earning money, the money you want to spend but it's not the right way to spend that kind of money, and you're constantly holding yourself back because you are in a transaction with Allah, and every time you hold yourself back, you have to remind yourself, well, I'm doing this in exchange for what? Jannah. But human nature is, if you're paying a price to earn something, you want to see it. You want to see it. Even if you do 40 hours of work at a job, at least 2 weeks later, you're going to see a paycheck. You're going to see something. But when Allah buys us for Jannah, do we see Jannah? No. All we get is a verbal confirmation from Allah. I'll give it to you, trust me. That's all we get. We got nothing else. Okay, I'll describe it to you too. It's got trees and it's got rivers and it's got lots of fruits and you can get married and stuff, and he's got lots of descriptions of Jannah. But do we have a brochure, a catalog, a picture, maybe a video, a short trailer? Give me a trailer for Jannah. I don't want the whole movie, just give me like 30-second trailer so I know what's coming. Nothing. All you get is Allah's word. Now let's stop here for a second and take a step back. I'm going to pretend to be a sleazy salesman. I come to you and say, hey, I got this property, prime real estate location in Long Island. It's like 5 acres. It's a mansion. It's amazing. I want to sell it to you for $5,000. It's worth $50 million, but I want to sell it to you for $5,000. You get really excited. First of all, do you believe that transaction or no? I was like, it's sleazy scam artist. What are you talking about? Don't waste my time. No. Listen. Trust me. Pay me the 5,000 now, and in about 20 years, I'll tell you where it is. This deal is only open right now. If you take it right now, I will give it to you. The mansion is yours, but mansion is yours when? After 20 years. But you have to pay me 5 grand when? Right now. This is similar to the sale Allah is offering us for Jannah. When is Allah going to give you Jannah? Allah is telling you He's going to give you Jannah when there is dirt being poured on your face. When you're in the ground. That's when He'll give you Jannah. But when do you pay Him? Right now. And you're like, and He says, trust me. He says, just trust me. Doesn't it take an incredible amount of trust? It does, doesn't it? That's what you mean. That's what we mean when we say believing in the unseen. That's what it means to believe and trust Allah. It's not an easy thing. It's easy to say. It's not easy to do. Shaitan, by the way, the opposite. Shaitan says, listen. I got some amazing dunya luxuries for you, some pleasures for you. You can have them right now. And he comes to you and offers you immediate reward and no payments. Obviously far more tempting, far more powerful. So now when I've presented this transaction to you because I wanted to leave you with what Allah says at the end of this transaction. He says, فَاسْتَبْشِرُوا بِبَيْعِكُمُ الَّذِي بَيَعْتُمْ بِهِ. Come take, appreciate and be congratulated, feel congratulated over the sale you just made. The sale of giving yourself up and your money up in exchange for Jannah. Feel congratulated over that sale. Everyone around you will say you're a fool. You're missing out on life. You could have been doing so much with your youth. You're wasting it away with that hijab on your head and that scruffy beard you're trying to grow. And you're trying to go to the masjid and pray and this and that. And then you open Allah's book and Allah says, congratulations, you made a good sale. The only one to congratulate you in this scenario is not going to be your friends. It's not even going to be your family sometimes. The only one to congratulate you will be Allah. The congratulations will come from nowhere else. When you trust Allah, then let me tell you, people around you will question that trust. And they will make you lose that trust. And that's when you need to hold on to Allah's book. Because when you open that book and you read it to find hope, that's the only way to survive. This is why I started by saying we need an ummah that is directly connected with the word of Allah, the promise of Allah, the promise that never fails, which was the title of this talk. Every one of you needs to hold on to that promise. So I hope that all of you are able to revive and rejuvenate your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
الله ربي والإسلام ديني ومحمدا رسول الله ويقيني